the Atlanta Hawks. I mean, I don't know if they have a big decision to make, but they definitely have some decisions to make this offseason.
They have one.
To see how they get better. What do you think that is in the
John
draft?
Collins.
Yeah,
John Collins, okay.
Def.
We've seen the Hawks make this Eastern Conference Finals run, go to 6 with the Milwaukee Bucks, even with Trae Young injured. How bright do you think the Atlanta Hawks' future really is?
Your squad, bro.
They have a big decision to make, whether they're going to bring back John Collins or match whatever contract he gets. We'll see what he's going to get out there, what offers he's going to get out there. But also, they're young players. I mean, you got Onyeka, DeAndre Hunter, Cam Reddish, Trae Young, and Kevin Huerter.
Kayvon.
And I know you are very high on Cam Reddish. So I'll let you go first, Riv. Let me know what the Hawks need to do and give me your take on what you expect Cam Reddish to be next season.
Oh, well, for starters, congratulations to Atlanta for making the Eastern Conference Finals. You know, you played your heart out. So shout out to you guys. Even though I did pick the Bucks, I still love you guys, Atlanta. Now, for this team, it's, you know, you got your start off, obviously, a franchise when they're rebuilding and they're going through the process. The first thing is to find gems and find the superstar. You find Trae Young. You got Trae Young. He's your superstar for the future. He's your guy, playmaking point guard. What he showed in this playoff run is that he shines bright when the lights are on him so far.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that's what he's shown. He's shown he can carry his team. He can be that leader, and he has big moments that he can do. We've seen it against New York in the Garden, one of the hardest places to play at, especially on the road in a playoff game. He shut it down.
Came crazy.
Yeah, so he's phenomenal. You figured out DeAndre Hunter. He's going to be a really, really good potential all-star and a two-way player. You know, he locks down on the defensive end. He can shoot the ball, and he's starting to get more creation in his offense. So that's a really good step. He's 23 years old. Kevin Huerter, the Red Robin, you know, he picked it up in the playoffs. You know, as a sharpshooter. He's also starting to show that he can create his own. John Collins, he started to pick it up. So you have a lot of young guys who can create their own shot. They're still on rookie deals, you know, so that you still have an opportunity to figure out what's in store. Plus, you have veterans on deals that you can possibly move or they'll possibly be done by the time these rookie contracts are up. Because I believe Danilo's on now a 3-year deal, if I'm not mistaken.
Danilo.
Yeah,
he's probably on a 2-year. I think he's more on a 2-year, yeah.
Clinton's on like a 2-3 year deal. So, you know, those guys are good complementary pieces to put your team with. Bogdanovich was also really, really good for them. He's definitely good.
And he had a shaky postseason, too. He was hurt, but
he's
still were winning.
It's funny. It's like Atlanta has good problems. You know, they have too many good players. You know, so it's definitely
always a good.
It's good problems to have too many good players and to figure out. You got your coach who seems to gel with this group of guys. You don't have to rush anything. You have young players. The East is going to be there. You know, you have a team that can compete with any team. They may not beat Brooklyn. They may not beat, you know, or they beat Philly. They may not beat Milwaukee again, but they will compete on a given night in a playoff series. So that's something you always see, and you could just continue to improve. For Cam Reddish, you know, you saw him not play for 6-7 months with a Achilles soreness. You saw him, they threw him in the lineup after Atlanta Twitter was fiending for him to get in over Solomon Hill. They were sick of Solomon Hill. He gets in, you know, he plays phenomenal defense. The next game, they get blown out. Game 6, he comes in and erupts for 21 points. I think he missed like 1-3, and he was just playing great defense, keeping his team in the game with high energy. And you saw the flashes of what you thought you were getting in Cam Reddish, a guy who can create and who can play on the defensive end. And that's what you wanted when you picked Cam Reddish and DeAndre Hunter, two guys that complement Trae Young on offense and also complementing on defensive end where he can't play D. Those two guys will pick up your best guard, pick up your best forward. And I think that's what they envisioned, and Cam Reddish showed a little bit of that in 3 games. It's still a small sample size. He's still very inconsistent, and he still has to get back in game shape. But so far, so good. And like you said, you don't have to rush the process because you have Bogdanovich, who is a sniper and who can create his own shot. You have the Red Robin and Kevin Huerter, who can create his own shot. I think bringing John Collins back would be the best thing because he is young.
Me too.
And him and Trae Young have good chemistry together, and he's a really good player that can still get better. But I like Atlanta's future, and I think they'll be a top 4 team in about a year or two.
In the NBA?
Yeah, no, in the East.
Well, they were
NBA,
basically
it's
a top
tough.
4 this year.
They're not top 4.
They're basically top 4 this year.
They weren't top 4.
They were 5.
Fully healthy.
You got to stop.
No,
Yeah,
fully healthy. Lakers, Nets, Clippers.
He said the East.
Bucks. No, you said NBA top 5, top 4 NBA.
I asked you NBA, and then you said no, the East. Exactly.
East.
You don't think that they're already that?
Healthy Nets, Milwaukee. Oh, you could say that. I mean, you could say that. You could say that.
Right? I think so.
Debatable.
Why not? Definitely.
I thought you meant NBA in general.
Oh,
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Like top 10.
Not yet, at least.
Maybe.
But if you keep this core together, we'll see how it goes. So the future of the Hawks, it couldn't be brighter, truthfully. You
I like
have
how you started with that.
you look at this roster and how it's constructed. Excuse me. It is perfectly built to compete for a championship for years to come. You look at how they started it. They had John Collins, drafted Trae Young. Did they get Trae Young?
It was Collins first, then Young.
That's not what I was going to ask. I was going to ask about Capella. Did they get Capella after Trae Young?
They got Capella after Trae Young's season.
Okay.
After Trae Young's second season.
Okay.
They got him midway, but he didn't play.
So they bring in Capella. They bring in Bogey this offseason. I'm pretty sure Hoarder was a draft pick of theirs as well.
I think Hoarder came in with Trae.
Yeah, he did.
And Cam and DeAndre Hunter came in together.
So just the way that they're built and the way that the NBA is headed towards, I feel like it's the perfect storm of what you want out of an NBA team right now. And they took a look at the Warriors' blueprint of how they drafted that team and how they put it together, and they said, you know what, we're going to do our absolute best to try and imitate this the best we can. And I'm not trying to compare the players. I'm just solely trying to compare
the process.
Correct. And I feel as if they couldn't have done a better job. You have Trae Young, who's going to be on this roster for God knows how many years. At least he's going to be there the 6 to 7 that you have to be as your rookie deal. Bogdanovich, he needs to stay healthy because that Trae Young, Bogdanovich, Hoarder shooting combination is absolutely nasty. Then you look at John Collins, who has a potential to be a true star in this league, I believe, at least.
I thought you were going to say superstar, bro.
No, because we had that conversation last time. Trae Young's the superstar. John Collins is a potential star in the making. Last season, he averaged 21, took a dip in points this season, 17.6, but they realized we need to let Trae do Trae. And they
hope so.
Not
over John Collins.
Oh, no, I agree.
Not John Collins over him.
No doubt. But then you bring in Bogdanovich. It's going to take less attempts from Collins, but you can't forget about Collins and what he means to the offense too. We see him clean up on the glass. We see what his presence is down low, not being a bigger type dude in size like a 6'10" Giannis or a Ben Simmons. He is a 6'7", 6'8" dude that can just get up there and play bully ball down low too. I just think hearing the comments that he made earlier in the season would concern me, saying that he doesn't like the way that the offense is run around Trae Young and they feel like that's not winning basketball. But I'm glad that he stuck out this season. He gave 100% effort, and he saw that, you know what, we can win with Trae Young running this offense. And that's the only thing that might worry me in sense of him re-signing with the Hawks. But if I'm the Hawks, you need John Collins because that presence down low that can also extend beyond the three-point range is essential. He's a 40% three-point shooter for his career. He's solid. You have guys like Danilo who can knock down the 3-2, who are good with the ball in their hands. Clint Capella, you guys mentioned he's not the best defender in the world, but he's a really good shot blocker. And that, if I'm thinking of the Warriors, they had Kevon Looney hold that role, and Clint Capella is a better Kevon Looney in my opinion, at least. And so I'm just looking at how the Warriors did it, and I'm seeing how the Hawks are doing it right now, and I see a lot of similarities. So the future is really bright for Atlanta, and I really like the trajectory of where they're at.
I'm smiling so much because I've never seen somebody talk about John Collins the way you're talking about John Collins.
John Collins is really good. I mean,
I'll say this.
Hold on, because you just bashed John Collins, and I was still talking. So aside from his first year, 19.5 points.
I know what the stats are.
But then why are you disrespecting him? And he just made the ECF.
Trae Young led them that far.
Okay, you obviously, but it's not like he's bad. The way
John Collins isn't bad. I'll say this.
I ain't like how you downplay Looney.
John Collins isn't bad.
But Capella or Looney. I'm not disrespecting Looney. It's Capella's better.
Why would I compare?
Look, I'll say this.
They're both centers.
John Collins is not bad. He's really good. Do I see multiple-time All-Star in his future? Absolutely not. I don't.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Absolutely not.
Mm-hmm.
I think when you talk about the Atlanta Hawks and players' ceilings and peaks, it goes Trae, Cam, Hunter. Yeah. John Collins isn't even top 3.
That is cap.
He's not.
That's cap.
If I'm Atlanta, John Collins, you can go.
That's a horrible opinion. That's
no,
horrible.
it's not. Because
horrible.
Because a team is going to overpay the hell out of John Collins, and he's not going to produce that much.
Bro,
because Trey makes the game so much easier.
I agree, but it's not like he wasn't doing it beforehand.
If I'm with Trey,
he wasn't. He was before Trey. He was playing very well.
Before Trey, he had a good season.
I told you
before
you said the stats. It's 19.5, 21.6.
Wait.
I'm just saying he's really good.
John Collins has been in the league for 3 years.
4 years.
He was a year before Trey.
4 years. Yes.
Second season, John Collins averaged what?
How many years has this is
Trey Young's
third. So John's fourth.
John Collins' second year was Trey Young's first.
Yes.
That's when John Collins took off in the stats.
You know what? You have a point.
Yes,
Fair enough.
I know because John Collins benefited from Trey Young, as everybody will.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm Atlanta, I'm really banking on Cam Reddish taking a huge step next season because to this point, he has been disappointing, but I think that's more due to Lloyd Pierce. Nate McMillan is going to instill that confidence and really get him going. Next year's Atlanta Hawks starting lineup should be Trey, Bogey, Cam, Hunter, and Capella.
Hunter can play the four.
We know how great the small ball lineup works in modern NBA, and I don't even think DeAndre Hunter in this NBA at least he would be a great four.
Yeah.
You got Hunter and Cam are better defenders than John Collins, so now you have defenders of Cam,
so
Hunter.
You said you're taking
Capella.
Cam over Collins
defensively.
Okay,
easily.
I'm not saying defensively. I'm saying as an overall player right now,
No,
you want Cam.
Peak. He said peak.
You want Cam over Collins.
I'm expecting Cam to take a big jump next season.
We've been waiting on that for how long now?
Just 2 seasons.
Not even two. He didn't play this year,
and he's been hurt most of the season.
Don't do that.
Okay, all right.
So
go ahead. Continue.
And that's why I think John Collins. You are already paying Danilo, Bogey, Capella. Trey Young is coming up. Atlanta right now has a really good core that is going to be attractive to a lot of big-time free agents. You can't afford to pay John Collins big-time money and lose out on potential free agent classes where you can bring a star player to Atlanta and pair up with Trey Young. So I wouldn't get John Collins, but I wouldn't re-sign John Collins if a team gives him an offer that is great. And I think a team will because they're going to fall in love with the stats, just like you drooled over.
I mean, I watched the games. I see what he does.
I know, but I'm just saying, John Collins, at regular season, watching him throughout the year, I didn't see as much as I saw in the playoffs. In the playoffs, everything.
Which is all that matters.
No, I don't think so.
I watch Atlanta games very, 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 because Cam plays. I don't know what you're talking about with John.
What do you mean?
I don't see what you're so fascinated about.
So then what do you see that doesn't fascinate you?
In the playoffs,
I said that he could be a potential star. He could be a potential star.
No, I think he's going to be. I think he's going to be a really good player.
All-star. Like you can be like it's like we've seen players in this league not be all-stars and be amazing. Devin Booker, he didn't make the original all-star lineup.
Drew,
let me
ask you this. Could he be as good to the Hawks to what CJ is to Portland? And CJ's not an all-star.
I think so.
Second best player.
He who was their second best player this season?
CJ.
No, we're talking about Atlanta.
Atlanta.
I'm so sorry.
Who's their second best player?
I think Hunter.
I
think Hunter.
All right, right now in the playoffs because they played an entire playoffs without Hunter. Who is their second best player? That's Cap. He played like trash.
He did not.
He did not play well. He did not play well with the knee injury.
I'll give you Collins.
Thank you.
Collins
was
the most
easy.
consistent.
But I'm just saying.
That's all that you're looking for in a player.
But
if
what's
a
their
player,
ceiling though? If he's their second best player, realistically, what's their ceiling if Collins is their second best player?
They just made an ECF with him as their second best player.
Yeah, but teams are going to get better next year.
Come on, bro.
We'll see.
What do you mean?
Are they going to not get better either?
I mean, I think it depends on the matchups they face.
I think for Atlanta to reach finals peak, their wings have to be their second and third best player.
I just want to say this. Atlanta right now, they have one major hole that I see. The major hole is the backup point guard position. You thought it was going to be Rondo. It wasn't him.
Poop.
Lou Williams, we know he's a scorer primarily.
Chris Dunn was a waste.
Yeah, exactly. I think that at the 20th pick in the draft, if this guy is there, he's a lock for Atlanta to draft him.
What I was gonna say.
That's Jared Butler. I think Jared Butler would be the perfect Atlanta Hawk. He would. I mean, defensive. He's great defensively. He's a really good playmaker. He's a really good shooter. He's mature. He's been in college for a couple years. He can contribute right away. I think he would be the perfect person for Atlanta to target in the draft, and I think he'll be there at pick 20. Maybe they go to Sean Holland and go with scoring.
He's more like Lou, though.
So we'll see. But I think, honestly, I really do think Jared Butler would be great for them.
Yeah.
But like I said, I wouldn't be opposed to them bringing back John Collins if at the right price.
What would be the right price in your opinion? 15?
Yo, for me, like knowing
15, 16?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm not paying John Collins over 20
wouldn't
to
pay him
30
20.
20 to 30 range. I'm not paying John Collins that. I'm sorry.
So
I'm
like
just not.
15, 17 range.
And I think with the Hawks right now, their roster, if you have a starting lineup of Trey, Bogey, Cam, Hunter, Capella off the bench,
That's a lot of spacing.
Yeah, off the bench you have Herder, Danilo Gallinari, Jared Butler, Onyeka is gonna make a massive jump, take a massive jump next year. I think they don't need John Collins. I really don't think so.